Good morning. It is Monday morning, April 14th. Good morning. April is flying out of here. Oh, it's still cold here in the Pacific Northwest. It is freezing. Good morning, Mr. Jimenez. Good morning, Mari. Good morning, Hey Teacher. Good morning, Bree. How are you? So, I'm up. I'm a little nervous. Got to take my baby in for surgery. And yeah, baby's going in today for surgery, outpatient. A little nerve wracking. Whenever they gut your baby, it's a hard. But I know she's in good hands. You know what I mean? So I got to drop her off at 10. And when they finish, they'll call me and I'll go back and pick her up. But she's going in this morning. We've got to get that pulley assembly done, that serpentine belt, and that other pulley assembly. So we're going to get that taken care of today. Her appointment is today at 10 o'clock. Um, Good morning, Snuggle. Good morning, Sarah Motherfucking Z. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I was telling you guys a couple of weeks back about this interview with Kamani Latigue's mother. And I don't know if any of you went to watch it. So we're going to see it this morning. Hi, wait a minute. I see hi, Cooch. I need to go on top chat because I don't see Cooch. So live chat. Sorry, live chat. There she is. Good morning, Cooch. How are you? When I saw Cooch's name, I'm like, where is Cooch? And then I looked. I was on top chat instead of live chat. So I also just noticed that George went live again last night. So I guess I need to go and watch that. I went over to the TikToks because they were having powwows over there. And now I need to see if Kai has it on her channel because I fell the fuck asleep. I fell asleep. Mr. Jimenez always makes a point to speak to everybody in chat. I hope you're doing well, Mr. Jimenez and Mother Jimenez, your granddaughter, your grandson, the kitty cat angel. I hope all of you guys are doing good. Yeah, I don't know why. Good morning, Ann. Good morning. So we're gonna listen to this interview. Um, or this Well, some is an interview, and I put the channel's name in the description in my description box. But the channel name is Integrity Reloaded. Integrity TV Reloaded. Now it's a bunch of clips too from the news, but I want you guys to hear Kamani, her mother, and what she has to say. Good morning, Kernels of Shade. Good morning. And I hope you're doing well. I've been watching your little short. Well, not little. I've been watching your shorts and I'm really enjoying them. You had a fabulous vacation. You really, really did. I think I'll do that on my next vacation, which is coming up. I think I'm going to do that. So, let's see I just want to make sure I have everybody, before I start. But yes, everybody knows that I call it my baby. My car is going in this morning. They got the parts in on Wednesday, and the rain was so bad and everything that was going on, and I didn't feel like going out in that rain and doing all of that. So the appointment's this morning at 10. I'm going to drop her off, and if she costs me any more money after this, and that's what you get for driving a high-end car. I know Ann knows because I see she's got that Audi. uh you can't put aftermarket parts. They don't have aftermarket parts for your car. You have to get them from the dealership. or the manufacturer of the car. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. So we're going to take care of that this morning. And after that, I'll come back and I'll be grifting for the next 3 weeks, okay? I will be grifting. I'm going to need money because this mofo is costing me some money again. 2.5 years ago, she cost me money, okay? Now she's costing me money again. If she keeps acting up, I'm going to treat her like I did the BMW. I'm going to trade her ass in and say, okay, I'm done with you. But I can't do that to my baby. I can't do that to my baby. Oh. Snuggle. Snuggle, my granddaughter is not here. You think I'm going to take my granddaughter in for surgery and drop her off and then come back and get her? No, Snuggle. My baby, my car, my baby. Oh my God. So, okay, mine is blocked, booked in for the next Monday. Griff incoming. Oh my God, you found a weed? Wait a minute. You found a strain of weed called coochie nuts? Oh shit. Hi, Mustang Sally. No, I was talking about my car. My car. The serpentine belt, the something assembly pulley, and a something else pulley. I have no damn idea. Okay. So I had to drive her. When did I drive her? Friday. And do you know that car is not making any noise? Do you know she's not making any noise right now? But a week before I took her in, she was just making this. Now she's not making any noise. I think it's because they took her apart to see what was wrong, but she's not making any noise. And I'm like, wait a minute. Then I thought I'm hearing my brakes, and I'm like, nope, I just had the brakes redone all around. That was damn near a thought. You know what? I'm buying me a bicycle. I'm sorry. I'm getting a bike. I can buy a new chain for a bike, okay? It is expensive. It's damn expensive. I just can't, I mean, because when I was telling my ex, he was like, and I don't mean Clint, I mean my ex, who I said, can you come up here and do my car? He said, a serpentine belt is not that much. I said, no, it's not the belt. I said, it's the 2 pulley assemblies that goes with it. Labor is only $240. The rest are parts. Jesus Christ. He was like, yep, that sounds about right. I said, shit. Oh, you going to get a scooter? Maybe I need to get a scooter. Hi, Nookie, long time. Maybe I need to get a scooter. But I'm like, let's see. So in the BMW, it's a 2-compartment engine or motor. So one compartment went bad. Just a little whatever. I went to push the button. That bitch said, not today. So I had to call, got her towed to the dealership. And when they told me how much she was, it was right before Easter, as a matter of fact. I was standing in there and I told them that they were effing me and I wasn't getting any foreplay. Didn't realize I was that was a mother and a child behind me. I was like, oh my God. So I had a bunch of Easter candy in the car that I had bought for my grandson. So I ran out to the car and I got the little kid some candy. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Then they had a recall on airbags. Well, at that time, my car wasn't on the list. All of a sudden, the red light comes on for the airbags. Still not on the list. I took that bitch to the dealership. I said, you gonna fix this because I'm not driving with no damn red light on. And about a month or so later, it was on the list, but they never charged me to do the car. I was like, okay, that's it. That's it. And then they even told me at the dealership, if you ever buy a BMW, they said, don't buy it, lease it. I said, okay. I went back to Infinity. Shit's crazy. If it didn't snow 20 feet a month, you could get a scooter. You've been watching Jocelyn Smith's case. Okay. Okay. I think I know the case. Because I know I was watching the one it was like three cases. And when I watched some of Lori Daybell's on Friday, she gave me a headache. I said, you know what? I'm just going to look for the recaps because I can't take this woman no more. I really can't take her anymore. Good morning, Kelly. Yeah, it's expensive, but and my car goes in for routine maintenance. When it tells me, on my dash, it'll tell me when it's time for an oil change or when it's time to get my car, get the car maintenance because it's set by mileage. And I always take it in. Always. How the hell you didn't find this issue? Well, last time it was like a year and a half ago. Wow, I guess it wasn't an issue then. But I think it's because of all the snow and stuff and the moisture here, especially during the winter months with it's the snow, the raining and driving through all of that. I think that plays a lot on it. Because my other Infinity, I never had those issues at all. And I was in Texas. So all right, let's get on with Kamani. My daughter had a BMW. She had nothing but problems with it. See, and that I'm telling you, but the first 3 years, it was smooth sailing. When that fourth year hit, it was like bam, bam, boom. I'm like, what the F? And after I had that accident where it tore up my I forgot what they called it, my arms on my other Infinity, and they repaired it. But to me, it was like I couldn't drive it anymore. And I went to BMW, kept it for almost 4.5 years. After I started having all of these issues, and then some, I was like, okay, I'm going to find something else. I was on my way to get another BMW, and I'm driving, and something told me, go to the Infinity dealership. And I went to the Infinity dealership. My baby was sitting right there looking at me. I said, I want that one. I said, I want that one. That's what I did. I want that one. And I didn't even want to test drive it because I know what they drive like. I've had two. So that was it for me. I stayed. I went and got it. When I had that other accident, when I was ran off the road on the Katy Freeway in Texas, my car hit the guard thing and I spun around looking at oncoming traffic. I showed you guys the picture of my damn car. I had to go get another one. And I remember my sister Leslie came and she picked me up to go look for a car. Soon as we got on the lot, there was a platinum sitting right there. My sister said, we're not even going to look at anything else. She's going to take that platinum. And I did. And that's what I did. I went in there and I did the paperwork and drove her off the lot. Hi, Vault. Hi, Christoph. And my mother was like, what? I said, nope. I said, this is a 2019. I said, the other one was a 2016. She goes, they look the same. I said, the lights are different. The interior is different. New buttons, new cutesy stuff. And it's a V6 and it's turbo. All right, let's look. When I get a second, read my IG. Hold on a second. In order for Vote to say this, it must be important that I read my IG. Hold on. I'm not good at checking my IG. I'm really not. Hold on. Vote, I don't see nothing on my IG. Am I missing something? I don't have anything from you. Heidi, when you get a second, read your IG. Oh, okay. I see. Oh, okay. I see it. I understand what you mean now. Okay. I get it. All right, thank you. I see it. I kind of figured when I saw that. All right. Thank you. I got it. Hi, Texas girl. Good morning. Beauty by KK. Hi, my beauty. Good morning. I used to drive a stick. That's what I used to drive. All my Toyotas were sticks and my Honda. So I went from Toyota to Honda, Toyota to Honda. My second husband bought me, I forgot what it was. It's when they changed the body style, but it was an American car and didn't want that. So then I went back to Honda. Then I had an Explorer, which it was so cute in Texas. I had a nice Explorer, and then I went to Infinity. And then BMW, and then back to Infinity. Hi, Donna Lee. Good morning. Okay, here we go with Kamani. All right, I want you guys to pay attention, and I really want you guys to hear what this woman is saying. Again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay, again, this is coming from Integrity TV Reloaded.
Up here together. Because I have a 4-year-old. She was up here with Kimani for a whole week before that. My daughter's dad got permission from my mother to bring Kimani to me on Saturday the 15th. That had nothing to do with no birthdays. I don't know where people keep getting that from, but that's not what I said.
Now, she's saying she had her daughter on March 15th. Her dad, Kimani's dad, got permission from her grandmother to bring her to her mother. Now we know, let's watch.
She came up to see me because, again, I'm paying child support.
No,
I still have my parental rights. So that was my visit.
Kimani's mother told the court,
the last time that I was permitted to see my child was her 11th birthday.
Now, she just said she saw her on March 15th. Here she's telling the court she hasn't seen her daughter since her 11th birthday. 11th birthday. Remember, Kamani turned 14 last Friday. Well, not this past Friday before last. She turned 14. So 3 years. But you're telling these people that you saw your daughter March 15th. I do read.
Would say that based on the interactions that I've had with my daughter and the conversations that we had, I do believe we were close.
I went through some really serious trauma back in 2018. And as a result of that, I lost like 3 years worth of my memory. Which includes up to 2021.
Yes, she was.
Shortly after I had my daughter.
Now, she says she lost 3 years of her memory, right? Hi, Just Beetle. Look where she's at, guys. She in the club.
Thank you, baby. Who's that? Hey!
No, that's crazy as fuck.
You did that to your own
grandbaby.
Nigga, you told me I was supposed to be aborted and that you gave me life anyway, so I wanted to do something for you. I let you see your first grandchild come into this world, and this is what you do to her?
Now, she's talking about her mother, okay? She said that her mother told her she should have been aborted. Okay? That's what she just said. But her mother gave her life anyway. She said she let her mother see her firstborn grandchild. No, you didn't. You abandoned Kamani. You abandoned that child. But this is what she was doing.
For all of the people that have continued to show me love and support, I appreciate you. I will forever be grateful for for everything you've done for me. You guys have helped pull me out of my shell.
Pull her out of her shell. Look at her, guys. They helped pull her out of her shell. Look how they helped her. Look. They pulled her out of her shell. What a mother.
And I feel like I'm better for it. I want to tell y'all I love y'all. If you guys want to continue following me, my name is the T-H-E-E Jeannie LaRue, TheGenieLaraux on all platforms, including Red Note.
She is profiting off her daughter's murder. She is profiting, whether it's gaining followers, money, whatever, off her daughter's back, which is reminding me of Frauditor and KB right now. Except for Lisa's not dead.
You guys can find me on all platforms at the Jeannie LaRue. I did say that I wanted to start doing mental health consults, mental health advocacies. If anyone is in need of that, or is just in need of someone to talk to and you need someone to vent to, I will give y'all my personal number, which is 440.
She put her number out there, and guess why, guys? Guess why she's giving you her number? So when people call, she's going to feel so pitiful, and they're going to want to send her money. They're going to want to do things for her and her daughter. This has nothing to do with Kamani.
7. I'm not holding nothing back. I love y'all. I'm appreciative of y'all. If TikTok goes down, it will really break my heart.
Okay, she just said on all platforms. And now she's saying if TikTok goes down, it's going to break her heart, guys. It's going to break her heart. Not the fact that your daughter was brutalized by her father, raped, beat the fuck up, neck damn near severed, and hands cut off. But TikTok going down is going to break her heart. What a mother.
But I'm glad I got to know you all.
Fakeness.
Thank you.
Doesn't that sound like Lisa? Doesn't that sound like Lisa? Not a tear.
Thank you for everything. I love you.
The internet has a lot of questions surrounding a biological mom, beginning with why did she wait to change her social media handles to Kamani's mom after the death of her child? And also, why haven't she posted Kamani on any of her social media platforms after this tragic event?
Thank you.
And also, since she's a mother of 4, where are her other 2 children? Because she only seen with the youngest. And lastly, why didn't she put that energy in getting Kamani back that she put in TikTok? We caught you in 4K living your best life, breaking down crying when you thought the app was about to make a departure. But when it came to Kamani, we are yet to see.
Well, he says he's her biological father. The mother and the grandmother said she was told that was Kamani's father. We don't have any DNA that says that, but I would think the mother would know, but who knows? But this is her right here.
See you shed a tear. I've been following this Kamani Latigue.
Y'all think I'm kidding. I was saying the same shit. She never shedded a tear. Neither did the grandmother. But the aunt was in full mourning for her niece. That's the only one that cared about that young child. The only one.
Case since it first broke. And I came to the conclusion that the biological mother, Tiara, having been transparent and truthful with us from the beginning. How do I know this? Well, we retrieved her court records.
Now, please, guys, I'm going to drop his channel link. It's on my description. Please go and give him a view. I've already clicked the view, but please do that for me. But he did a really good job on this, and I have to say thank you.
And I must say, there's some things in there that's mighty disturbing. It's probably the reason she wasn't allowed to leave the hospital with Kamani in the first place. And we also got some intel on the Granny Dorothy. And we definitely go get into all that. But first, I need you to hit the like button to help with the algorithm. Help me get this out there to spread awareness. And if you ain't subscribed to the channel, it's a good time to do it now. I appreciate y'all, and let's jump right into it. It seems the community of Toledo has switched up on Tiara and continuously calling her out after her recent interview, where she was reaching out for personal sympathy, for some to believe possibly in the form of monetary value. In this interview.
See? I said it. 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 I saw his first video he did on this. This is the second video where he compiled everything. I said she was doing this for her own selfishness and for monetary gain.
She could be found dropping and penning her Cash App throughout the chat and continuously urging the viewers to donate to a nonprofit that she's assembling in the name of Kamani Latigue. Yeah, segueing into another GoFundMe campaign she created, while simultaneously telling the audience that she was set to appear in probate court to fight and take control of Kamani's estate. At the same time, acknowledging that she's unaware of how much a lawyer actually costs.
One last thing, as of now, give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why she said a cold one like it was beer. It's fucking...
Hold on. That's the video.
Talking about
okay,
you want a cold one?
Oh, I didn't subscribe on this. Hold on. Let me subscribe. This is the channel. Hold on. This is the channel. That's the video. And you see, I did the first one when he was talking about Kamani and when the dad was talking about her, we're talking and saying he had all these dark thoughts about what he's got, and if he acted upon it, he would be in prison. That was the first video of his that I watched on this case. But I gotta go back and subscribe.
Give me 1 second, I'm sorry.
Thank you, please.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why she said a cold one like it was beer. It's fucking... she had to get sweet tea talking about it. You want a cold one? But
how are you?
So as of now, there are no GoFundMes that are going to anything having to do with Kamani. So any GoFundMes that you guys see, if it is not by Catherine Moore.
The grandmother abused Kamani as well. She had 2 CPS visits on the bruises that Kamani would go to school with. But Shade, I played the grandmother and the aunt's interview on TV. I mean, with the news station. And the grandmother was so matter of fact. Then the daughter, Kamani's aunt, told how her mother had them in the system as well. This child didn't stand a fucking chance. And the aunt should have had custody of Kamani.
Please do not donate. As far as donations to funeral homes, please do not do that. We are not at that stage yet. I will definitely keep in touch, and I will definitely keep you guys up to date on what's going on. My Cash App is open. As I said before, I am trying to get a lawyer so that I can give my daughter a proper send-off.
She needs a lawyer. If you had any rights to Kamani, you would need a lawyer. Your mother had adopted her after she fostered her for 5 years after she got her from the godmother who had her before. You abandoned Kamani when she was 9 months old. You had no rights to that child. And then she was fighting her mother about paying child support. It was all a money thing for her and her mother. While the mother had Kamani foster care, she was getting money. Once she adopted Kamani, there was no money coming from the foster care system. So then she sued Big Mama here on the screen for child support because she had no more money coming in from the state. Hi, Wisco.
I'm due to be in probate court on the 8th. So anyone that wants to help with that, I will give Black my cash app for that so that I can pay a lawyer.
And she had no
But
lawyer in
outside of
court.
that, I'm not asking for anything else at this time.
She had no lawyer in court representing her, not a lawyer. So anybody that donated to her, they should feel stupid.
I will eventually, once the dust has settled, I will be putting up a GoFundMe or a crowd share or something, so that we can get up the money and the resources that we need in order to make sure that the Kamani Foundation, the Kamani Effect, and Kamani's Law is put into place. But until then, we are not accepting funds in any way, form, or fashion for Kamani. So I just wanted to ask you guys.
She wasn't accepting money for Kamani, but she was dropping her cash app so she can get money to get the imaginary attorney so she can fight for her daughter's estate. Okay. That'll be the last thing on my mind. My thing is, when are we going to bring justice to whoever did this to my child? I'm not worried about that, but she was making the rounds.
Mr. Black, is it okay if because like I said, I am trying to get some funding. I don't know how much a lawyer is going to cost for probate court. I'm not going to put out any specific number because I don't know how much a lawyer generally costs.
Bruh, oh, chill out. She's trying to finesse. Wait, what? And that's almighty suspicious right there.
There
How
you
are
go.
you not going to know how much it is to obtain counsel to a hearing you are set to appear in a couple days? On top of that, you told us you done completed 4 years in law school, so make it make sense.
She said she had 4 years in law school. 4 years in law school. Like freedom suckers.
I have some experience, but I don't have a lot of experience when it comes to law. I did 4 years of pre-law.
No, you didn't.
If you don't finish those last 8 years, it's a lot of information and a lot of insight that you do miss.
Girl, stop.
But is it okay if I put my cash app in there? And is it okay?
Oh my God.
Because I am going to set up a PO box, because I've seen that it's a lot of people that want to do things for Kamani or want to send things in honor of Kamani. When I'm going to set up a PO box this week, so that people can send things for her.
Muzzy, I'm grifting this morning.
Is it
I need
okay
to take my baby
once I
in for
have that
surgery?
set up if I reach out to you?
I'm grifting, guys.
Yes,
No, I didn't even set a goal.
Yes, ma'am. It is perfectly fine.
I'm a bad grifter.
I want to make sure I play a part in helping with Kamani.
Okay, yeah, because I know they were saying, someone had
Send me something on IG.
Okay, so it's not letting me. Okay, here it goes. So I'm going to.
Yeah, you can type it in the chat if you can.
Yeah, it wasn't letting me at first. So this is my.
Okay, I see it. Tomorrow morning we will be discussing Stephen Stearns. Thank you. I have it. We'll do that tomorrow morning. Thank you, Wendy.
Cash App. It is under Honey Kisses. It has her picture on there. The same photo that you guys see right now is on the Cash App. I tried to change the name so that you guys would know that it was me, but it won't let me. The Cash App should be in the in the comments or whatever. I'm not sure.
All right, that's the back chat. I'm gonna put it in there. That's in our behind the scenes chat. It is right here.
Black.
Okay, let me tell you guys.
So
I can tell you for a fact, I've taken 3 years of law classes. My transcripts will show it. Did I ever go and take the LSATs? No. I changed my major. No, I didn't. That girl couldn't even go into a court and write a paper. I need to find my papers that I wrote for all my classes, and you'll see the depth and the research that I had to do. I would have to be in court, sitting in these trials. She's a damn liar. Liar. That's her name, Honey Kisses. That's it, a fucking stripper.
And then once I get the P.O. box set up, I'll send it directly to you, Mr. Black, and we can go from there. I know the LA Lakers were trying to make a jersey in her honor. I know there was Dewey Lights had named a star in her honor, and I know there's different things that come with that, but at least then anyone that wants to do something in my daughter's honor will have a safe place to send it.
Oh my God.
So
what girl,
just to clarify, because I do want very clear, I want this to come across as a very clear message. There are no GoFundMes.
Except for
if the GoFundMe does not, if the publisher of the GoFundMe is not Katrina Moore, it's not going to my family. It's not going to help my daughter. So as of right now, because I'm not aware
to help her daughter, your daughter is now deceased. When there's a victim of a crime, there is a fund that the city has that normally pays for all of that. Okay, girl? Okay? And then the family actually gets contributions out of that fund. You bitch!
Of the GoFundMes out there, I'm going to say there is not one. There is no GoFundMe.
Say what? Wait, that ain't what they saying. But that's not true at all, because Kamani Latigue Justice Truth and Fact page on Facebook made a post to spread awareness that Tiara got 2 GoFundMes created, one for $100,000 and the other for $7,500. So naturally, the people felt scammed and betrayed. That's when.
Did we hear that? She had 2 GoFundMes set up. 2 GoFundMes, $100,000 and one for $7,500. What a mother.
A Facebook user with the handle of Moody came forward and stated that Tiara is her sister and they currently stand together in the same house. And she also confirmed that Tiara did in fact had 2 GoFundMes created. She stated that the GoFundMe for $100,000 was to sue the Toledo Police Department along with the Children's Service Board, CSB.
Why is she suing Toledo Police Department? They didn't do anything. Children's Services, why are you suing them? Her legal guardianship, but she can't, and you can't, because you abandoned your child. You didn't have anything to do with that child until now to put your ass on TV to try to garner sympathy for money.
GoFundMe for $75,000 was going to be used for burial expenses, allegedly. And Moody would later delete her comments from the thread, but not without tagging Tiara first under her Facebook, Bella D. Latigue. But unfortunately, Tiara would leave her hanging and never respond. But Tiara, try again, because we read that book before you wrote it. And this Moody character just ain't no random person in your life, because we got both of y'all rocking out together on camera. She got the same face tats and everything. And I don't believe she got no reason to lie on you when she in the comment section going to war for you and holding you down. Meanwhile, you trying to confuse the world to believe that you don't even know this girl. That's nasty work. However, Moody would quickly jump into the comments of the Kamani Latigue Justice page on Facebook to set the record straight that they were authorized by Tiara to start the 2 GoFundMe pages. So Moody responded by saying, I am Kamani's aunt, and that's all that matters. You are posting a GoFundMe that I created and making up lies behind it. You got my adopted mother name all over this post because she the one that made the $50 donation. And you think you somebody because you're using my niece name for clout and to gain followers? The Kamani Justice page responded by saying, further, if you are the creator of this $100,000 GoFundMe page, you created a GoFundMe naming an individual as a murderer who hasn't been charged for murder and falsely presented it Tiara Caston as your sister. Moody, Dorothy is a suspect, and the only reason she is because she will not make it to court safely with the jail being overpopulated and under.
Okay, so they're saying that Dorothy, the grandmother, this is what they're saying on Facebook. Let's listen to this. She's saying that her mother won't make it. Jesus Christ. If you're the creator of the $100,000 GoFundMe, you created a GoFundMe naming an individual as a murderer who has not been charged for murder and falsely presented Tiara Caston as your sister when she is not your sister. Is that your GoFundMe? And she says Dorothy is a suspect. They never said the grandmother was a suspect. And the only reason she is because she would not make it to court safely. That's a threat.
You created a GoFundMe naming an individual as a murderer who hasn't been charged for murder and falsely presented it Tiara Caston as your sister. Moody, Dorothy is a suspect, and the only reason she is because she will not make it to court safely with the jail being overpopulated and understaffed. Whatever that means. If y'all happen to know, drop it below. Moody, Tiara is my sister. How would you say she isn't my sister because she surely is? You done lost your marble. It was made by me, and Tiara is the beneficiary, so move around. And one confused Facebook user chimed in and said, Tiara has said 1,000,000 times she don't want any GoFundMes or any money. She doesn't want shit but justice for her daughter. So Moody didn't really take a liking to that comment, and she said, how are you telling me what Tiara want when me and Tiara reside together? And I was asked to make the GoFundMe for legal expenses, and the other one is fake. Go on, inbox her and ask her. As for you stating what you think you know, I'm laughing it off because none of this is a joke nor a game. And anyone attempting to partake in defamating me will...
Hey, look! She's telling them where to find her at. She's telling y'all she gonna be in New York. You can find her at that address. Uh-oh, it's going down in the comments.
To seek legal counsel. So block me, I got everything screenshotted. And then Moody would go on a rant telling the girl to drop her location along with leaving her address and said she could be found in Bronx, New York. So if her and Tiara staying together, that means Tiara in the Bronx too, right? Not Cleveland, Ohio. So that's when she tagged Tiara and said Bella Latigue, not this mongrel trying to defame me with lies and getting cute like she can't be fixed. So then the Facebook user tagged Moody and say, wait a minute, hold on, let me make this clear. So you staying with Tiara and she had you make a GoFundMe page? But meanwhile, she on multiple interviews saying no GoFundMes and donations. So I'm confused. Are you saying Tiara is lying? So Moody expressed again that Tiara asked her to set up the GoFundMe for legal fees to fight Dorothy in probate court because she told her that the attorney fees was high. Moody also tagged the other girl responsible for the other GoFundMe and said, so you ain't saying nothing, Cadence Perry? Is my GoFundMe fake or not? And wasn't I asked to make this? However, she will be left to fend for herself in the comment section because nobody she tagged came to her rescue.
We got me and my foster sister, the one whose house I'm at now, got her paid.
The city was appalled to believe that this mother would go on a local news station and state that she wasn't looking to profit and stated that she only wanted justice, only to turn around and take to the internet to pander in great proportions. In the next clip, Tiara could be heard alluding to the audience the notion that the only way that this funeral would ever take place is if she received some funding for various projects. However, the city of Toledo says otherwise. In fact, they raised over $6,000 before Kamani was switched between the 3 funeral homes. Not to mention, countless organizations locally that held various fundraisers on the strength of Kamani having a nice home going.
Thanks. We're learning that the Brown Legacy Memorial Funeral Home will no longer be holding the services for the 13-year-old girl. Brown Legacy announcing Saturday morning that the process to transfer funeral responsibilities is now underway. Plus, donations made throughout the week will be transferred to the next funeral home. The announcement didn't say which place will be handling the services. Brown Legacy saying Friday that the community had donated so far around $6,000 to support private and public services. Local businesses are set to host an event Sunday to raise money to properly honor Kamani and celebrate her life. Wheelin' on the Rocks on Lasky Road hosting a benefit and poker run from 2:30 to 10 p.m. tomorrow. The main event will be at Wheelin'. Other businesses also participating, including Kickstand Saloon, Daffy's, and Corner Saloon. More details on 13abc.com.
It's a message of the community turning together in time for Kamani Latigue's birthday weekend. She would have been 14 years old, but she will never be able to celebrate because in the past week, her father was suspected of killing her and dumping her body in a blighted home on Miami Street in East Toledo. Community members, hurt and moved by her story, have been gathering at the home to leave balloons and well wishes. On top of mind for many are the funeral details for Kamani, with many people donating money to help with her funeral costs.
To the funeral.
With the news that Brown Legacy Memorial wouldn't be handling funeral arrangements for Kamani Latigue, WTOL 11 viewers have some questions about what's next. So where are the remains? John Castillo, the owner of Castillo Funeral Home, says Kamani is no longer at his funeral home. He says earlier Saturday, the remains were transferred to Dale Riggs Funeral Home on Nebraska Avenue in central Toledo. What happens to the $6,000? Brown Legacy Memorial says these contributions will be given, quote, directly to the new funeral home to ensure that Kamani's services are carried out with the care and respect she deserves, unquote. Dale Riggs did not respond to our request for comment. We also reached out to Richard Brown, who also did not respond to our request for comment.
As of right now, as far as her funeral procession is concerned,
her funeral procession, girl, you met, procession is after the funeral. You know, it's when you're driving to the gravesite, which we know that Kamani was cremated. Her funeral services, not her procession, her services. Okay, we know that Kamani was put in a coffin. We know that it was rented because we did it to my aunt. You rent the coffin, you present her, people see her, you do the service, and then the funeral home takes her away. And in about a week and a half, you will receive the ashes. And that's what happened with my aunt, and that's what happened with my niece. So stop it.
I am going to probate court to secure control of my daughter's estate.
What estate?
That will be on the 8th. On the 8th of this month in Toledo.
On the 8th. Okay.
I'm telling you guys, she wanted that body. She wanted that body so she can keep profiting off her daughter's death. That's what she wanted that little girl's body for, because she didn't do anything for her in her 13 years of life. Nothing. And to platform this piece of shit is disgusting, especially when you found out what type of mother she was or non-mother she was.
Until this case has made it outside of probate court, there are no funeral arrangements. We are not at that stage yet. I will definitely keep in touch, and I will definitely keep you guys up to date on what's going on. My Cash App is open. As I said before, I am trying to get a lawyer so that I can give my daughter a proper send-off. I'm due to be in probate court on the 8th. So anyone that wants to help with that, I will give Black my Cash App for that so that I can pay a lawyer. But outside of that, I'm not asking for anything else at this time.
At this time, she wasn't asking for anything. We already know the community raised all this money for her services, which the state would have paid for. But they did it. They came together as a community. You're not asking for anything at this time. Girl, not a tear.
I will eventually, once the dust has settled,
no,
I will be putting up a GoFundMe or a crowd share or something so that we can.
So they had the services Thursday. It was private for the family and friends. Friday, it was public. And then they do the cremation. You have to get the permits and everything. And it takes like 3 to 4 days. So she's going to be cremated sometime this week, probably as early as tomorrow, Wednesday. So
get up the money and the resources that we need in order to make sure that the Kamani Foundation, the Kamani Effect, and Kamani's Law is put into place. But until then,
way more than enough. But you got to think about it. Okay, so you still have to prep the body. You have to rent, and you rent the coffin. You rent the coffin if you're going to have a service, and if you want people to view the body. That's what happened to my sister's mom. We did the same thing with my aunt, the same thing with my niece. They were going to be cremated. You rent the coffin. They have to still prepare the body, lay the body out, hair, makeup. Y'all should see the charges. Jesus Christ.
Accepting funds in any way, form, or fashion for Kamani.
Okay.
So I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Black, is it okay if because like I said, I am trying to get some funding. I don't know how much a lawyer is going to cost for probate court. I'm not going to put out any specific number because I don't know how much a lawyer generally costs. But is it okay if I put my Cash App in there? And is it okay?
Kamani's biological
because
mom.
I am going to set up a P.O. box.
You can't make this shit up. Tiara's sudden reappearance in Kamani's life seemed more like a calculated move than an act of love. She haven't been there for Kamani since birth, or haven't seen her physically since she was 11 years old. But yet and still, she was trying to seize control of her estate and open up GoFundMe, even when the funeral arrangements was already taken care of. This wasn't the story of a grieving mother. It was the tale of someone trying to rewrite their role in history. But the truth is undeniable. And real heroes ain't made in moments of convenience. They are shaped through years of unwavering presence and love. In fact, the world through Kamani's eyes showed her absolutely no love. But Kamani's legacy isn't tied to Tiara's scheme.
No, it's actually a coffin, okay? Then after the services, the funeral home takes you away if you're gonna be cremated someplace else. They take the remains out of the coffin, put in the box, and they and they put you through that other process, which we heard about this funeral home in Houston, and I'm going to show that too.
Or any of these people, places, and things that failed her in the past. It's defined by the people who truly stood by her and honored her life with authenticity and care. Initially from the jump, Tiara's whole rant was based on the possibility of her not being invited to the service, based on the narrative that she was creating of her mother Dorothy online. So she must have figured that she wasn't getting the invite. Then she took to all these platforms to spread misinformation. When the probate hearing was finally held, Tiara's actions spoke volumes. She didn't even have the decency to return to Toledo to walk into the courtroom and look the judge directly in the eyes as she pled her case. Instead, she hid behind the screen, attending the hearing via Zoom with no attorney present. It was a stark contrast to the seriousness of the matter at hand, a final testament of her lack of accountability. While those who truly cared about Kamani showed up and stood firm outside the courthouse, Tiara's absence in that courtroom mirrored her absence in Kamani's life.
Exactly.
Actions like these
you heard what he said. I showed you guys, I think last week, we actually saw the probate hearing. She wasn't even in court. And then she was saying that someone told her she wasn't going to be allowed at the funeral. It didn't come from Dorothy, her mother. So again, cash grab.
Reveal the truth. It's not about claiming to be there when it's convenient. It's about showing up when it matters the most.
Burger made it clear why Kamani's mother and grandmother were in court. Kamani's mother, Tiara Caston, appeared virtually.
There seems to be some disagreement between Next and Kim on how the disposition of the deceased remains.
Her grandmother, Dorothy Latigue, filed this paperwork in probate court on Friday, asking the judge to hear the case. The grandmother said her only desire is to dispose of Kamani's remains respectfully, but they can't bury the child because she and her mother are fighting over who has the right to plan the funeral.
To my understanding, we had a disagreement only because she felt like she wasn't invited to the ceremony, only because we have not kept in contact since the situation arose.
Police say Kamani Latigue was murdered at the hands of her father, Darnell Jones. Her body found in this abandoned home. The community outraged. Her body moved from funeral home to funeral home. Judge Puffenberger saying this has gone on too long. He based his decision off of how close the women were to Kamani and their plans for the funeral.
She's not just been in my house for the past 5.5 years. When she was with the prior custodian, we still kept contact to the point where Kamani was still coming back and forth to my home.
Kamani's mother told the court,
The last time I was permitted to see my child was her 11th birthday.
She said permitted to see her child. No, woman, you wanted nothing to do with that child. You abandoned her.
I would say that based on the interactions that I've had with my daughter and the conversations that we had, I do believe we were close.
Ms. Latigue, I assume your daughter would be invited to the private family funeral.
course.
You would not try to exclude her?
No.
He asked how the grandmother would pay for the funeral.
Was there some community money donated for a funeral?
There were several organizations that are providing their services. So to date, again, everything is paid for.
There you go.
The judge ruled in the grandmother's favor.
What I had planned was
Look at
a
her
private
dancing.
ceremony. So
My
that
God, she reminds me of Kayla doing that damn dance. Hold on. She reminds me of my granddaughter when she was doing that dance. And I have that on video as well.
the family could attend, and we have a open casket funeral, and then there was a public ceremony
He's a psycho.
also planned for the community.
And Kimani's grandmother told the judge that she would like to have Kimani's funeral this week.
Now, I know I can't be the only person that heard Tiara say that the killer, Darnell Jones, drove Kamani out of state to see her recently before this incident
She
took.
said it. She said her father brought her to see her on March 15th. She lied. She lied.
Place. Who else did it catch off guard to hear her tell the judge that she haven't seen Kamani since her 11th birthday? I'm beginning to believe that she possibly mentally unstable. I never understood why she was being depicted as the hero when in fact she was the first to fail Kamani. Ladies, be honest. And ain't nobody just taking your newborn baby straight out the hospital after you done given birth, unless they got concrete proof that you an unfit mother. Now, in order for me to illustrate this the best way that I can, I have to take you down the timeline of when Tiara first started getting wild, according to the Toledo Police Department.
Here we go.
All this is public record, by the way. On June 6, 2009, Tiara Caston was found guilty of assault, no attempt to cause physical harm to another or another's unborn. Unborn, though?
Yep.
Not physical harm to an unborn, which was amended from felonious assault, where the victim was seriously harmed. On this same day, Tiara was also charged with resisting arrest and obstruction of official business. So Tiara was found indigent, requested a public defender, and bond was set at $25K. So on June the 15th, 2009, Tiara took the deal that was recommended by the prosecutor, which was assault, knowingly attempt or cause physical harm to another or another's unborn, which is actually a lesser charge than a felonious assault where the victim was seriously harmed, which she was initially charged with. That felonious assault would have landed her in prison. So Tiara pled no contest and was found guilty and was sentenced to 6 months in CCNO with 6 months suspended. Tiara was placed on active probation for a year, beginning 6/15/2009 with the end date of 6/15/2010. And get this, her probation conditions were her to take a mental health assessment, follow any recommendations, have no further offenses, and medication compliance was mandatory. So I believe from reading that, she probably possibly had something mentally going on and, had to stay on her meds. And if she get off, you know how people is when they off their meds, they, kind of unstable. But however, 3 months later, on September the 12th, 2009, Tiara will be charged with petty theft, disorderly conduct, and false information while still on active probation. Now, the complaint states that Tiara was detained by Rite Aid security for stealing a mop and a broom and 2 packs of beer, total value.
How you steal a mop and a broom and 2 packs of beer? Let's hear this.
Of $58.46. While arrested at Rite Aid, she told the security guard and Toledo police that her name was Michelle Bates, so she was charged with false information. Her false information charge was dropped down to a disorderly conduct. She was found guilty for that charge and sentenced to 30 days in CCNO with 30 days suspended. Now, initially in this petty theft charge, she pled not guilty, but she withdrew her plea from not guilty to no contest. Now, for this charge, she was sentenced to 6 months in CCNO with 6 months suspended and was placed on active probation again for a year beginning 10/6/2009, end date 10/16/2010. So as you can see with this pattern, it was giving her chance time after time. But apparently she wasn't complying to the conditions leading up to July the 19th, 2011, where she was called in for a probation violation hearing. And a month later, on August the 31st, 2011, her probation was terminated unsuccessfully. At this time, Kamani is 5 months old, so keep that in mind. And with all these second chances, you would have thought that Tiara would have learned their lesson. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Less than a month later, on September the 30th, 2011, 6 months after the birth of Kamani, Tiara was charged with menacing at the Toledo-Lucas County main library, where she stated to the security guard that she was gonna beat his white, ugly ass. So right away after reading that complaint, I knew she had something going on upstairs, giving signs of mental health issues. However, this time, she would spend some time behind bars. Fast forward 6 months later, on March the 8th, 2012, Kamani about to turn a year old in less than 3 weeks, and Tiara doubled back and catch another case at that same library. And this time it's criminal trespassing.
Now,
because
remember she said that her daughter was taken from her at birth. She abandoned her daughter. Listen, all the evidence, he had it all.
Tiara was banned from all Lucas County public libraries, and this was her second time coming back while she was banned. At this point on the complaint, under the address, she was classified as homeless. This time when she was released, she would skip court and go on the run for 6 months until she was picked up on August the 2nd, 2012. But for some reason, she was released and supposed to appear back in court in 2 weeks on August the 18th, 2012. But she would fail to appear, so they issued out another warrant for Tiara. 4 months later, on December the 17th, 2012, while on the run, Tiara would catch a robbery charge. 3 months before Kamani's third birthday, where Tiara was with 3 to 4 males who jumped the victim, beating him in his head. As this was happening, she was stealing his credit cards out of his pocket. Her bond was set at $50K. Her bond was set at $50K, followed by an indictment. Rest up, Kamani gone but not forgotten. Today, her walk-through memorial will take place. It's from 4 to 7, and the public is welcome to attend. So I just know the city of Toledo will be in attendance to pay their last respects. Darnell Jones is out the hospital and currently incarcerated in Columbus, Ohio.
Yep, he's going to be transferred. Supposed to be this week. He's being transferred back.
Bound. However, he still has to pay his sins for what he did in Toledo. All we can do is pray for Tiara, and I truly hope she get the help that she needs. Although I know she had a rough upbringing, but now it's time to break cycles because kids don't ask to be brought in this world. Don't forget to hit the like button, dislike button, however you feel, but hit the notification bell to stay updated. And I'll catch you in the next one up top.
Thank you so much.
Integrity TV.
Thank you. Integrity TV, guys. So this is the story that I watched. You guys go over and check that out. That was what I wanted. I wanted to share that one with you guys because this is sad. That mother was going on every platform to try to use her daughter's death as a cash grab. Now you tell me, is she a good mother? Exactly. She was doing this to her daughter. This sad, but true. So I wanted to bring you, we were talking about funeral homes, and I'm going to bring you the story. I didn't do it last week, but there has been an update. So let's look at this one. Now, I want you to pay attention to what's being said in this. This is in Houston.
The blurs in this video, bodies laying out in the open, loved ones horrified to find them at a mortuary without air conditioning, and it only gets worse from there.
Saying goodbye to a family member is already difficult, but what some people went through today made a tough time downright traumatic.
It all started when a man went to check on his mother's arrangements at Richardson's mortuary just off of Alameda Road.
This story is just crazy. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live there. And Luke, we got tipped off to this earlier today, and there have been many twists and turns since then.
Yeah, police have been here all afternoon. At this point, all 10 of those bodies have since been moved to refrigerated rooms at other funeral homes. Attempts to reach the owner of this one have been unsuccessful, but the Precinct 7 constable, an acquaintance of his, was able to get him on the phone. He says he's currently in the hospital after suffering a heart attack. It's so much heartache here today for all of the many families who came seeking answers.
One thing I know, we're not going to leave him in this building.
As chaotic as it looks outside Richardson Mortuary,
You take a step
No
away.
AC.
You tell me where you going to put a body that's been already deteriorated.
these customers say it's nothing compared to what you'll find inside. The stench of death overpowering, and the sights deeply upsetting.
There's bodies in caskets, boxes, plastic bags. It's no AC, it's gnats, it smells like rotten blood.
Tamara Magruder and her brother filmed these videos this morning. They'd gone to the funeral home to check on their uncle and mother's bodies, suspicious about where and how they were being stored, since this building is being renovated.
And I opened up the casket, and she had gnats in her face.
Oh my God.
She was already sweating.
Other bodies weren't even in caskets. Some laid out on tables.
Right now we have a total of 10 bodies. You could look at an abusive corpse, things of that nature, but we'll know more as we go through it.
The video spread quickly on social media, soon catching Marita Brown's attention.
I saw a lady in purple in the same suit as my grandmother. So I said, wait a minute, that look like my grandma. But
83 years old, Bonnie Ashley should have been cremated last month. Instead, Brown fears her body sat in questionable conditions inside Richardson Mortuary.
this was March the 21st. And she was supposed to be cremated already, and we've been waiting on her ashes, and nothing haven't been happening.
He has bodies laying in here.
Lots of activity this morning when the Magruder family was taking these videos. They say an unidentified funeral home worker confronted them.
When he asked us to leave, I said I'm not leaving without my mom.
And at some point stabbed her brother in the stomach. He's expected to be a...
Did you hear that, right? Stabbed her brother in the stomach because they were videotaping. She was supposed to be cremated last month. And she was still at the mortuary, which means they've paid for these services to be done. And they didn't follow up on their end. They were supposed to transfer that woman to the to the crematorium. They never did. They kept the money. God knows what they were going to do with her remains.
Okay, and the worker isn't being charged.
Basically, he claimed self-defense. We spoke to the district attorney on the charge, and he declined charges.
As for these bodies, as shocking as it sounds, the Texas Funeral Service Commission says it's not unusual to find them laid out on tables. What is disturbing? The lack of air conditioning and reports of insects. In the last 10 years, 14 complaints against Richardson Mortuary. The Funeral Service Commission couldn't say how many were substantiated, but says one is still active. And now, there's another one.
It hurts. I feel let down. I feel like I let them down. I feel disrespected.
They never got the body. She said, that young woman said she had been waiting for her grandmother's ashes, and they never received them. The body was still laying there. They never received the grandmother's ashes. She should have been cremated a month ago. Never received the ashes at all. Question is, if they would have kept pressing them, what would they have given them? Would they go out there and dig up some dirt or go find some ashes somewhere and put... That's the point. Abuse of a corpse.
And in addition to all of the police officers here, the Texas Funeral Service Commission sent their own inspector out this evening. We've been checking back to see what they found. We'll let you know when we know.
Thank you.
For now, reporting live in Southwest Houston, Luke.
Thank you.
Jones.
So that was in Houston. Now this is the third one in Houston. If you remember years ago back in Georgia, or was it North Carolina, where it was a mortuary crematory and they had bodies all out in the woods. They never, because the crematorium had been broken for like, 8-9 months. And people started smelling all this stuff. This was, could have been longer than that, maybe 15, 20 years ago. Bodies were out in the woods, dumped in the woods. And then family members had to be notified to claim bodies that they thought, because they did receive ashes, but it wasn't their family's ashes, because they were dumped out in the woods. I'm going to have to talk to Phaedra and see what she does. Hi, Gwen. It's too damn hot in Houston to not to have these people refrigerated. You're absolutely right. But when she said she opened the coffin and her grandmother had gnats all over her face and she was sweating. Hi, Julie. And they're supposed to be doing inspections on this stuff. Oh, it was Jackson, Mississippi. Thank you, Snuggle. I thought it was Georgia somewhere. Bodies were all in the woods. They would just dump them because the crematorium was broke. And it was the father that owned it, but the son was running it. And it was broken. They didn't have the money to pay to get it fixed. Well, then you send them to another crematorium. You've already been paid. You've already been paid. These people are sick. You've been paid. You've got insurance money. He was just dumping bodies in the woods. Dumping bodies. Well, her mother wasn't bombed. They said she was in there, but she was sweating. So she wasn't bombed because she didn't say that. But they said a lot of bodies were in there. And you smell, well, anyway, I don't even want to think about it. Hi, Miss Sweet 2J. They should sue, but they probably won't get anything. They should be closed. If they go in and inspect a restaurant and all of this stuff, they go in and inspect these kitchens. I know they have to do inspections on funeral homes. They have to. They have to. Now, I want to know when was the last inspection done on that funeral home, but they said they had 14 violations and one is still open. I want to know what the 14 violations are. I guess I need to go look. I have to go look and see what the 14 violations were. They inspect daycare centers. They inspect schools. You can't tell me there's a commission. You can't tell me they don't do an inspection. So everybody wonders. I remember when Prince's sister went to the crematorium. She wanted to see her brother's body. Now I understand. They stayed there the whole time that process was going on. Do you guys remember that? When Prince was cremated, Taik, what's her name? I'm sorry. She's deceased now. Rest in peace. She and her son, and I think 2 other family members, stayed there the entire time. Before they put him through, she wanted to make sure it was her brother. And they stayed there the whole time. It makes sense to me now. Yep. Beauty salons get inspected. Yep. Because I'm like, why would she stay there? I was thinking, because she didn't want the press. Now I understand. She viewed him when they transferred him. She went, and the day of the cremation, she was there to make sure that was her brother's body. Because he didn't want he didn't want a service. He just wanted cremation. Makes sense to me now. But I know when my aunt was cremated, I think my uncle got her remains back in like 4 days. My niece was about 4 days. Yeah, it's about 4 days. It depends on when the services are. I don't think, and then you have, and I gotta ask my sister, because I remember after she got her mother's remains, they had another service to put her in the wall, to put her ashes. And people say, oh, they don't bury ashes. Or no, they do. They do. Her mother's ashes was entombed in a wall in New Orleans. So some people do bury them. Some people put them in a vault, in a vault. So yes, they do. What was the funeral and cemetery board? Exactly. They shouldn't be operating business until they're on good stand. Exactly. So there was only one open case. How could those men be working while people's life? Because they're immune to it. It's like somebody that has a dirty ass house. They're used to that smell. But when other people try to go in, it kills them. It's like, so some people that has really bad hygiene, they're used to the smell. Other people can't take it. It was upsetting because I'm one of the segments. The relatives waiting for a viewing smelled the odor, and the funeral director said it's because they are like animals and senses are more. Oh my God. Is that what he said, Miss Sweet Tooth Jane? Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me, Miss Sweet Tooth Jane? Oh my God. Well, the person that took care of my aunt and my grandmother, we went, matter of fact, my sister Leslie, it's called Robotoms, okay? Her best friend was the daughter of the owner. And my sister would go over there because they lived on top the mortuary. And she would go over there and hang out with her best friend. So when I was at my cousin's crawfish boil in Houston, he came up. Well, he was there. And he grabbed my hand and he shook it. And he goes, "Oh, you're the one that was calling about your grandmother." I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "I recognize that voice." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, he told me who he was. I said, "Wait a minute. You touched my grandmother?" I said, "What did you do to her?" I did. He was like, "We took great care of Miss Jeanette. We took great care of her." And I said, "Yes, you did. She was beautiful." But I said, "Don't ever touch me again." They're family friends. He told me they took great care of my grandmother. They took great care of my aunt. They did. I saw my aunt. I saw my grandmother. My grandmother was beautiful. But no, don't touch me. Don't shake my hands. No. And when I found out what my daughter-in-law did, and she was in pathology in the army, I was like, "Don't ever hug me again." And she goes, "What?" I said, When she was doing all these autopsies on bodies that when they had Black Hawks were going down during the war. Don't touch me. So, yeah, it's just, it's crazy how they take your money. How they take your money. And I think in Louisiana, we've been using the same funeral home. And it's a family owned and it's passed down from generation to generation. They did my grandfather, my aunt, my grandmother. I don't think they did my dad's sisters. I think that's another funeral home. But then the one in New Orleans, we all know them. As a matter of fact, one of the ladies in New Orleans, I hang out with her, and she's the head mortician there. She did my cousin's husband. And when she sent me a message on Facebook, and she said, "I have your cousin here." I said, "My cousin?" She goes, "No, your cousin's husband." And I've been friends with Stephanie for years. And she is one of the she is the senior mortician there. And she has been at that funeral home for years. My son, who is nose blind, he says I have a nose like a dog because I can actually smell. I don't want nobody touching me that's dealing with, I just can't. I just can't. The only time I'll go to a funeral if it's a relative, I just can't. It took everything in me to see my grandmother. And then I kept staring at her because I'm like, oh my God, I kept forgetting how beautiful she was. All that long, she had like steel gray hair because she kept her hair up. And I hadn't seen her hair down in so long. And when I looked at her, now when I saw my aunt, my daddy's sister, I was pissed. I'm like, who in the fuck did I said, she doesn't even look like herself. I was so mad. And then my cousin asked me a couple of days after the services, how did mama look? I said, she didn't look like herself. I said, I was pissed. It used to gross me out when my ex got home, not going to lie. Please go shower. So I'm not the only one. Yeah, I'm not the only one. But, I mean, it's like I look at them as doctors. I mean, because you need to take care, not just the living, but the dead. So, and a lot of people take pride in what they do. There's a mortician on on TikTok that's in a war with other morticians. And I've been following this man. He's a light-skinned man with like reddish hair. And he just be going off on the way these other funeral homes treat deceased people. And there's jealousy within that area too, because of the business he's getting. And they feel that he's taking their business away from them. I'm like, are we fucking kidding here? But I follow him on the TikToks. I follow him. But okay, there's another story that I want to talk to you guys about. Jesus. This is a mother and daughter. Now, there's a man in custody now. Well, I think it's a man in custody because I followed the story when it first happened. And I think it's a man, if I'm not mistaken. So
a mother and her 13-year-old daughter shot and killed in their home. Investigators still haven't released a motive. Our Joanne Pileggi spoke with the victim's heartbroken family.
Police here in Trenton and county homicide detectives are still investigating the killings of a mother and her 13-year-old daughter. And I can tell you it was a very emotional scene outside of the home where it happened.
Right now, it's a tragedy that this has happened to our family. But right now, we don't know all basic details.
On West State Street in Trenton, just a couple blocks from the Capitol complex, a family grieves for an immeasurable loss. The Trenton mayor says the city is mourning the senseless deaths of 13-year-old Jaira Biggs and her mother, 40-year-old Malika Whiting.
She was a loving mother. She worked every day. Even if she lost her job, she was never discouraged about finding another one the next day. She was fighting. She was loving. All she wanted Tilly was to just have her kids raised properly. Her daughter's in the 7th grade. 13 years old. She didn't deserve this. To be in the middle of a conflict she had nothing to do with.
Police in Trenton responded to a 911 call Saturday morning. Neighbors saw the commotion and were horrified by the news.
They got a 911 call saying that someone was murdered in the house.
According to relatives, Whiting also has a son and 2 small children. Police say they detained a person of interest on unrelated charges and are still investigating.
It's very senseless, very senseless.
My prayer is that each and every one of you evaluate your relationships you're in. Because this can be any of us. All we ask is for prayers, strength.
The mayor saying police are working tirelessly to bring justice for the victims and their families. Anyone with any information about this.
Why do her eyes look so funny? Am I the only one seeing this? One eye looks bigger than the other. And what is all of this skin right? Am I looking at this right? One eye looks bigger than the other.
Crime asked to contact police. In Trenton, I'm Joanne Pileggi, Fox 29 News.
Thank you, Joanne. Her eye.
Right now at 11, we're following developing news in Hartford. A teenager has died and 2 other minors have been arrested following a shooting today.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bracita Lonaverde in for
Okay,
Kyle Jones
Justino,
tonight.
I'm writing
Now we
that
start with that
down.
developing news in Hartford. Police say a 17-year-old boy was shot and killed in the area of Barker Street and Wethersfield Avenue. Now 2 teenagers have been arrested in connection to the deadly shooting
Where
and a
am I
second
finding
crime.
that at,
NBC Connecticut reporter Jeremy
Justino?
Chen has more on the investigation and what we know so far.
Hartford police are still trying to figure out what led up to this shooting, but do believe the 2 teenagers they arrested were involved in an earlier carjacking. This neighborhood in the south end of Hartford covered in crime tape as investigators looked for clues into a deadly shooting Sunday. Hartford police say the area of Barker Street and Wethersfield Avenue was the scene where 17-year-old Chevron Wilson was shot and killed.
I'm going to tell you, I used to love to go to Trenton. Trenton has some of the best malls out there. When I would go to Jersey, well, I lived in Teaneck, but when I was living in Virginia, I would go to Trenton. We used to go shopping. We would head over to Philly. I'm serious. It's on YouTube. Okay. I love Trenton, but during the day.
Officers say the city's C4 cameras were able to capture a vehicle leaving the shooting scene. That vehicle was later found by an officer north of Hartford and was stopped.
Oh, you're in
With the help of
Newark
additional
down there.
officers, that vehicle was stopped. 2 juvenile males fled from that vehicle on foot. Officers got a hold of them, took both of them into custody.
Police say a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old, both teenage boys, were arrested. They say the vehicle the teens were in was also involved in an armed carjacking on Albany Avenue in Hartford earlier in the morning. Police say Wilson and the arrested teens were familiar with each other.
They knew each other. This wasn't a random act. This was definitely a targeted attack. I'm pretty confident in saying that.
Hartford police say the 2 teenagers will face charges stemming from the carjacking and shooting. Wilson's death marks the 5th homicide this year in Hartford. Police say trend-wise, it is similar to last year.
And Hartford is a nice place. Hi, Arkansas. So, okay. Hartford is a nice place. So, yeah, but I like Trenton. But I want to bring you this story too, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. And it seems like we have an issue with our state representatives, okay, going overseas to fuck little boys, okay? Now, Holmberg has been in trouble so many times for the same shit. He's been put on probation. He's been all kinds of shit. This is coming from Canadian TV News, okay? An ex-North Dakota Republican state senator was sentenced March to 10 years in prison for repeatedly traveling to Prague, Czechoslovakia, well, that'll be the Czech Republic, to engage in sexual acts with minors, including manipulating a Canadian 16-year-old boy into sending him explicit photos. Raymond Holberg, 81, of Grand Forks, North Dakota, traveled to the European city approximately 14 times between 2011 and 2021, where he visited a brothel that catered to men seeking sex with adolescent boys. So the Department of Justice knew all about him, okay? Again, they know all about this, but then you just have to read his background. Holberg used an alias, Sean Evans, as witness told law enforcement. The legislator did not want his name on the brothel's registry. Holberg also used Evans' alias to tell friends about his trips and encouraged them to travel to Prague. 81 years old, but he's been doing this for a while, okay? For a while. And, yeah, for a while. So Holberg boasted about having sexual activities with boys as young as 12 and 15 in his travels. This is according to the Department of Justice. Okay? Holberg had an online relationship with a 16-year-old Canadian boy and posed as a boy of a similar age in order to manipulate the Canadian teen into taking images of himself engaging in sexual explicit, I can't even read this shit anymore, sexual explicit conduct before sending them to Holberg. This is according to the Department of Justice. Buy Down Act. On August 8, 2024, Holberg pleaded guilty to 1 count of traveling for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct. Remind you of Jared from Subways, don't it? Records previously obtained by the Associated Press show that Holberg made dozens of trips throughout the U.S. into other countries since 1999. Holberg served as North Dakota state legislator for 45 years. He resigned in 2022 after the Forum of Fargo-Moorhead reported on his many text messages with a man in jail in connection with child sexual abuse material. So, he's been doing this a lot. And this is the website. Here's, let me make sure that you're seeing this. I put it here. Okay, I just want to make sure. So, here it is right here. The Czech Republic, where he paid sexually exploit children, according to the court documents. Traveled to Prague 14 times. That's it. But here we go. Where he paid. Holberg also used evidence. They said the boys rent around $60. Sex is extra. Holberg also wrote, "It will be decadent, but oh, so much fun, bro. What happens in Prague stays in Prague." We see this, right? He says, in these committed, Holberg shared an image of an adolescent boy that he called his twink and said that no one is ever too fucking young. Remember Prague? That's him. That's him. Department of Justice knew all about this. All about it. That is their statement. There's nobody too fucking young, according to him. That's what he said, not me. Not me. He's been doing this since 1999. Probably longer than that. But they say 1999. 81 years old. He only got 10 years. But if you go look at the article, god damn it. You can type his name into Google as well. And you will see how many times he was put on probation. You will see how many times he was sanctioned for the same behavior. Again, we need to protect our children. But if you go look him up, Kernels of Shade, he didn't go under the radar. They knew. They knew. He was sanctioned several times. There's his name. I'm sorry. It's Holberg. I'm sorry. Holmberg. Come on. Holmberg. He didn't go under the radar. He was sanctioned several times. It wasn't like he was hiding. They knew. They kept giving him probation. They kept sanctioning him. They kept doing, and then I guess it got to the point, but you wait till he's 81 years old. Exactly. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. And who was he talking to? They're not saying. But he was talking to a friend of his, a colleague. But they didn't say who. Hi, Amber. They didn't say who he was talking to. Are they investigating him as well? I would hope so. I would really, really hope they are investigating him as well. Because he wasn't having this conversation by himself. He was talking to someone. Anyway. Whoo, Lord, these people. So, I need you guys, and that plane, oh, there was another crash. I think this was in Florida, but the crash that happened in New York with the 6 people on board. They said 2 people were alive when they pulled them out the water, but they later died in a hospital. That was the CEO for Siemens in Spain. That is my old company. And when I saw Escobar, I saw the guy that was talking. I'm like, oh my God, he's come to the States several times. So he was the CEO for Siemens in Spain, which makes it, 2 young children, the wife, the husband, 2 kids, and the pilots. That is sad. They're also saying that the plane hadn't had maintenance in a while. And then I actually read where it says that the pilot or co-pilot of the helicopter called and said they needed fuel. So you mean to tell me that they didn't check this out before? Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if you guys heard about the at the Pennsylvania governor's house, but here they just did an update on it. Cody Bomber, the guy was arrested. So this is the Pennsylvania governor's house. Let's listen.
Look at your screen as a Pennsylvania man is in custody this morning after Pennsylvania State Police say he set fire to Governor Josh Shapiro's home in Harrisburg. This while they were inside. Fox 29 Philadelphia's Greg Payne joining us live this morning with the very latest. Greg, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. It was quite the alarming situation for Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and his family as that fire was set at around 2 a.m. right here at the governor's mansion in Harrisburg. Now,
how did he get there? How did he get in to do this? Look at the gates. What did he do? Climb over the gates? There's no security on the grounds?
We are told that during that period of time, Governor Shapiro and his family and a guest were all sleeping, and luckily everyone was able to make it out with no injuries. Now,
oh my God, could it be a young boy? No, I'm just joking. Let me stop saying that.
Governor held a press conference yesterday in front of his residence. He says his family, and some guests were woken up Sunday at around 2 in the morning by bangs on the governor's mansion door from Pennsylvania State Police, alerting them to evacuate. Now, luckily, everyone made it out safe, but these pictures show the heavy damage inside the mansion. Authorities have arrested 38-year-old Cody Balmer of Harrisburg, who they believe purposely set fire to the home. Officials say in a matter of minutes, Balmer hopped over the fence, broke into the residence, and set the fire using a homemade device. The room Balmer allegedly targeted was where the governor says they just celebrated the first night of the Jewish holiday of Passover. Balmer is set to face a number of charges, including attempted murder, terrorism, and arson.
This kind of violence is becoming far too common in our society. And I don't give a damn if it's coming from one particular side or the other. No one will deter me or my family or any Pennsylvanian from celebrating their faith openly and proudly.
There is already a security review underway to determine how we can ensure that we don't have a repeat of a situation like this.
And now you heard Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro during that press conference, and you can just tell that he was highly upset and frustrated about this situation. But one of the things he had mentioned during this press conference was the fact that he is not fearful. One of the things that brought up a lot of the emotion that he was having during that press conference was the fact that his family and his guests, his kids, were all in the home during this point in time and all had to be involved in this scary situation. And at this point in time, as they continue to investigate, there may be a possibility that there might be even additional charges coming up as this investigation continues.
This is what this home looked
as
like.
A Pennsylvania.
So he jumped the gate. There is no security, no alarm. This is the governor. What? No one, and everybody goes, oh, I'm moving here because it's safer. Crime has no address. Crime has no address. You can be in the nice River Oaks. You can be in the nicest neighborhoods. Crime has no address. None. So people go, oh, I live here because it's safe and blah, blah. You still have a crime rate. Look at that destruction. Can you imagine if the state troopers hadn't have gotten there banging on the door? I would think that's attempted murder. I would think it's not just arson, it's attempted murder. Or remorse. You're right. You are so right, Shade. Hi, Michelle. What did you say? Someone left the door. No. He jumped the gate and he threw something in there. And no, he didn't get inside the home. Look. And because he's Jewish, it's a hate crime. Attempted murder, arson, hate crime. Let's pile on some more charges. People are sick in the fucking head. This man had his family in his home, along with some guests. But it was, oh God, I'm sorry. Security was canceled. Jesus. Yeah, it's a hate crime. And then here's this one that was 4. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. 4 minutes ago. Hold on. Here we have an update. 4 minutes ago. Let me see what they charged him with. Hold on. Yep. Oh my God, they did it. They be listening to me, guys. Look at this.
Of Pembroke Borough is facing aggravated arson, terrorism, and attempted murder charges. And police say this.
I didn't say terrorism. I said a hate crime. Didn't say terrorism. But let's go back.
All started at around 2 Sunday morning when Balmer allegedly hopped over a fence right here.
You sweet tooth, Jay. He just said it. Let's go back. It is. I didn't even think of terrorism. I didn't even think of that one.
38-year-old Cody Balmer of Pembroke Borough is facing aggravated arson, terrorism, and attempted murder charges. And police say this all started at around 2 Sunday morning when Balmer allegedly hopped over a fence right here at the governor's residence and alerted state police. I want you to take a look at your screen now. These are new photos we have of the damage left behind.
Hopped over a fence, which alerted state police. So there are alarms on the fence. Okay. All right.
From the attack, the Dauphin County DA's office says after getting over a fence, Balmer approached one of the windows on the south side of the residence. Using a hammer he had brought, he quickly broke the window after multiple blows. And according to the police affidavit, Balmer then threw broken Heineken bottles filled with gasoline, starting fires. At one point, the DA's office says Balmer actually entered the residence after breaking another window and started fires in the piano and dining rooms. Now, he was later arrested. Documents show Balmer's ex-paramour
Paramore called police to turn him in after he asked her to. The affidavit shows that Balmer met with state police at the department's headquarters on Elmerton Avenue and admitted to being responsible for the attack. In an interview, he said he hated Shapiro and would have attacked the governor with a sledgehammer if he had seen him. Shapiro and his family were not hurt. The governor said,
"Why does he hate Shapiro? And if he would have seen him, he would have attacked him with a sledgehammer? That's attempted murder, terrorism, arson. Oh, Lord."
State police helped him and his family evacuate.
They're doing okay now. They're all together. And as I said, shortly here, we're going to celebrate our second Seder together. We're going to have more family time. And I trust that Laura and I will make sure our kids get through this well and listen to them, be there for their emotional needs, be there for their mental health support, our mental health support, and making sure that everybody is able to get through this and continue on with our lives. Me doing the
Now, after the interview, police say that they searched Balmer's house and found the black jacket that they say he was wearing on surveillance camera, as well as the bag he had with him and a hammer.
Oh, my God. So there we have it. Okay. Yeah, so there we have it. His ex-paramour. His lover. Huh. Okay, guys. Well, we have an update on what happened there. You hate a man. Why? You don't know him. Do you hate him because he's Jewish? Is that it? I don't get it. But he said he hates him. And if he would have saw him, he would have attacked him with a sledgehammer. So which leads me to believe if the alarms and stuff hadn't been triggered, would he have made his way up to where the family sleeps at? Or was he hoping that the governor came down or the fire would have woke him up? But he broke the glass in 2 different windows. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. OMG. So anyway, well, you think you think he's mentally unstable. Okay. Well, I need to get myself ready. I want to say thank you. Well, I don't have to get myself ready, but I need to do some of my morning stuff, and then I'll be dropping my baby off for her surgery. And guys, could you do me a favor? Just hit the damn like button. Could you just hit the like button, please? Please don't forget when I come back. I don't know if we're going to come live today. Oh, I remember Nancy Pelosi's husband's attack. Yes, I do, Barbara. I remember that. Yes, I do. He was beaten in the head with a hammer. I remember that. I definitely remember that. Thank you for being here, Shade. But I don't know if Debbie and I are going to come live tonight or Wednesday. I have to check. I'm going to send her a message, matter of fact, in a few minutes to see if we're going to do a live tonight. If not, it'll be tomorrow. But done. I'm telling you, we have to watch everybody. You can't trust anybody with your kids at all. So again, I try my best to bring you stories that I think that'll be interesting to you. A couple of ones that pops up right before I go live. Good morning, Pamela Barr. And then I watch them the same time with you. Don't forget, if you want to watch more on Integrity TV about Kamani, I dropped the link for you guys. If not, it's in my description on the video. He's done some really good videos on Kamani. He wants the word to get out. That mother is disgusting. She was using this. Palm Sunday was yesterday. She was using this as a money grab to try to get money. She didn't care about that child when that child was born. She didn't care about that child now. She says that she has 4 kids. We know 1 kid is with her, which is a baby. Don't send that woman any money. Not at all. Not at all. Don't forget, her name is Honeybees or whatever her damn Cash App name is. And I want to say one thing. No, I'm gonna save that till later because I'm gonna do a live. I need to get with Lady Red. We're gonna. I need to get this out about KB and Frauditor and all of them and all of this bullshit they're doing. I can't take it. Heidi, you need to close shows like this. That's been around the world. New. Oh my God. Okay, you're right. Okay, moving forward, I'm gonna make a thing. You've been okay, and that's been around the world news with Heidi. Wait a minute. Who's in what avatar? Pam, is that Bambi? Come on. Is that supposed to be Bambi? Please don't bring that avatar into my chat like that. I didn't notice that. Thank you, Just Beetle. Please don't do that. I don't let other people use other people's photos. Please don't do that. KB. Hey guys, it's Kentucky here. And then we have What the Fuck News driving around doing videos with her 2 young kids in the back. Okay? These people are irresponsible. Anyway, I'm going to save that for a later thing because and it's pissing me off because they're all making money off the backs of an addict. That's what's pissing me off. You guys have a great day. I'm really pissed right about now. I will see you guys later. Bye.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable.